Aloha, beautifuls. Welcome to the Woman Unleashed online retreat. My name is Amber Quile Mailani Benici, and I am your retreat host today. Take a breath in as you settle, right? I know just even getting here can be like, there's like lots of things pulling you at the same time, and I get it. And so I just want to take a moment to honor you and say, good job, you made it here. I know that just even this can be half the battle, right? Just getting here. So congratulations. This time is time for you. Time to realign, to tune inwards to what's most important to you and to listen deeply. And for today's session, I'm super excited because I wanted to bring, I'm going to introduce Summer in a moment. I wanted to bring her on, I don't know, like every single time I've ever had my online retreat. And this year she finally said yes. So I'm super excited because I know that her session is more than just about, we have all sorts of different speakers talking on everything from, moving your body to, doing art and, creativity and, awakening that stuff. But Summer's work is about that energy, right? And how to harness that energy in order to like move you the direction you want to go. And we're all about doing New Year's resolutions a different way. So what would it be like to do your New Year's resolutions in flow instead of push? That's awesome. So for materials, just make sure you have your One Unleashed journal, coloring goodies, beverage of choice, and let's dive in. So and take 3 breaths and then and I'll share Summer with you, okay? So just close your eyes with me for a moment and notice if there's anything that's been going on from earlier today, any lingering energy that's hanging around. Let's inhale in and exhale and release. Noticing the cat.
Sorry, that's my cat. Hi, everyone. I know we're not very exhaling right now, but she likes to help. Oh, geez, I forgot to dump her out of the office.
I love it. I know our people are going to love your kitty cat.
Hi, I have a red-headed kitty.
That was so funny.
That was my surprise intro. Hi, Amber.
I love your kitty cat. I love it. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've already let go of whatever. So
yeah, I think that just broke the ice right there.
I know. I think it just got us present in the moment. So.
Ooh, there's a cat.
There's a cat right here. Awesome. So let me let's just take another breath in. Mm-hmm. Anything in the future that's on me, let that go. And last, just smelling this moment together and out. Oh gosh, that was great. I love it. Oh, so, and all the seasons I've done, like the hundreds of interviews I've done, I think that's like the first time anything like we've had a cat like just jump on.
Well, she loves it when I do this work, and she's been ignoring me all morning. Of course, the second we're doing this, she jumps right in and puts her face up here, and me too, me too. So I think it's a good sign.
Oh my gosh, I've got kids like that too. When I'm on a call, they're just like, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me introduce you to Summer, because Summer, we've met her cat. Let's meet Summer now. So Summer McStravick, she pioneered the art of flow dreaming, okay, which helps you program your future as you grow your inner power. She's built flowdreaming.com, where you can browse like hundreds of her flow dreams. We're going to do one today. To use in your life, like on everything from like building wealth to like, when you're going from an interview to like just getting in more flow in your life to relationships to, like gazillions of different things, right? Before flow dreaming, Summer built Hay House Radio and produced hundreds of online and audio programs for your favorites like Louise Hay, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Abraham Hicks, and Doreen Virtue. And today she's like taken all of her summer amazingness and like wrapped it into Me School, where you can explore your empathic intuition, learn to talk to the universe, and unearth your true power. Summer and your cat, welcome.
Thank you, my dear. So I have all kinds of ideas percolating through my head for this session, this workshop that we're about to do. Typically, my strategy is I just let come out whatever has to come out, whatever wherever kind of the flow blows me or wind blows me is what we're going to end up doing. I know I really want to talk about flow, and I want to talk about creativity and being able to express your being inside of flow in your life so that you can create whatever kind of magnificent things you have in store for you. So let's start with this. Look at your life right now as one long creative exercise. I mean, that's it. You're plonked down here, grow up, learn. Here are the tools you have around you, the paintbrushes, the family members. Imagine if everything in your life right now was some sort of creative tool. And every day you woke up and there was only one mandate: make something, make something, make something. Right? This is, it's the artist's life, but it's all of our lives. And whether you're making breakfast and making, hours logged in at work, you're still making something. So the question is, what are you making? And if you have to make something every single day of your life, how much ownership do you want over that? I mean, how much do you want to be directing it and expressing who you are versus trying to just fit into the things that you think life will give you? So this is like one of the ideas that just occupies me every day. And, some people, perhaps know this already, but for those of you who don't, I went through breast cancer 2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, about 18 months ago. And it really drove that home to me, right? Every day I wake up, what am I going to make? It makes it so much more precious. And anybody with a chronic disease, chronic pain, what am I going to make today? How am I going to give myself to the world? For me, that's the essence of creativity. And if you have that urgency behind it, I am making something and, every day is a gift. What am I going to put in it? So how do we maximize this, right? How do we really show who we are to the world and start making those choices? Well, I think, first of all, people have oftentimes a very small idea of what being creative is. They think creativity is just painting or just drawing or writing or, dancing, some form of art. Open yourself right now. Creativity is everything you do. Manifesting, co-creating is a form of constant creativity. LinkedIn, when you are co-creating, why is there the word create and co-creating? I am making part of my life. Source or flow or whatever you want to call it is also helping me make part of my life. I'm making life from a physical standpoint. I'm also making life from a non-physical standpoint. I am in a dance with creativity, and I'm dancing with non-physical as we wake up each day to the mandate, make something. Right? So this is the big picture. If you are wanting anything, just think of something right now. This is a good time to use your notebook. Think of anything right now that you want, that you're just like, I really want this. And you can want it but not know how to get it yet. You can want it but not feel that it's okay to want it yet, or you're not ready for it yet. You can want it and not know how you can get it and or if you'll ever receive it. But go ahead and feel the want. Like, allow yourself. Don't cut it off because you have all these other things getting in the way of the want. Okay, you feel this desire? Imagine that this is a creative flow of energy inside of you. It's a push. It's like a divine push. It's a push from the universe. It's a push from something deep in you saying, express yourself. This is the desire. It's your desire for this particular kind of expression. And maybe the expression is an experience. I want to fall in love. Maybe the expression is to, build a business for yourself. It's an expression of you, and it's the divine push. It's the non-physical aspect. It's the flow self saying, go toward this. So this is where things get all mucked up, right? Because we have this push inside of us, I want this, and then all of our head stuff starts tripping out saying, well, you can't have it because, and who's going to want it from you? And where are you going to get the money to start this? And you barely have enough time to make a good dinner, let alone start a new company, right? All this other stuff comes up. It's really just kind of physically based. And think about it. The push, the divine push, the feeling state, the flow state is, here's my desire, something I want to create. It's always something you want to create, something you want to co-create. You can always count on that. You can always, it's maybe the one thing in life you can completely trust. You will always have that desire to co-create. You will always have desire. that never will go away. You can suppress it, stamp on it, try and shut it down, but it's going to be there, constant, and it's for you. And you have to look at it like it's a gift for you. My state of desire is a gift I'm given every day. And if you're depressed, maybe the desire has gone very low. And you need to work to allow that desire to free up inside you and flow out again. The more that you are embracing your desire, right? Embracing this co-creative need to make something, the freer you're going to be every single day of your life, right? So the work I do is often about unblocking energy, unblocking flow, getting rid of stuff. Usually it's mindset stuff, it's traps in your head that work to shut down our desire all the time, that work to contain us in a little box. You can have this, but you can't have that. I call these ceilings, right? And maybe you've heard patterns, blocks, etc. For me, I always encounter them as a ceiling. If I feel something that says, no, you can't have that desire, it hurts, right? It's a retraction. It's a feeling of, oh, that doesn't feel good. It's the same thing as if you're growing, and I use this image of Alice in Wonderland. Remember, she takes the potion, and she grows, and then she hits her head, and she's all like kinked over, and it hurts. She's grown so big, she's hit the ceiling of what she's capable of what she has access to. So whenever you go into that pain point, all you're doing is you're hitting a ceiling. And I know this sounds weird. The pain is telling you, time to get through the ceiling. If you stay here, we're just going to keep being painful. You need to move. It's time. And it's a good thing because it means you've grown. If I never hit a ceiling again, if I never had a pain point again, I would be, I don't know, disappointed. Worse than disappointed. It would mean that I completely stopped growing and that I completely stopped having desires. So every time I hit one of these ceilings and I go, ouch, it usually is saying something like, well, you can't do this because, or nobody's going to want this because. So Amber, we were talking, before this, workshop here about, if a person wants to, for instance, put out a product, right? Let's just say a product could be a book. It could be you launching yourself as a real estate agent. It could be you starting to do, distant healing. I consider all of those products because they are gifts of you that you're giving the world. They are creative things that you're allowing out and you're letting them be born. No matter what format they're taking, if they're coming from you, it's a product and it's being born from you and it's being gifted to the world from you. This is the desire. This is what you will always have. So where we stop it in our minds and in our hearts is, well, who's going to want this from me? Maybe someone else does it better than me already. She's a better illustrator, or, this person's already, got all the sales contacts in town for my doTERRA. I don't know, whatever it is you guys are doing. You have these limiters that you're starting to fold on yourself, ceilings. And the ceilings say you can go this far with it, but you can't go that far with it. And then you say, I work harder and harder and harder, but I don't go beyond my ceiling. Because it's just like you're pushing against the same ceiling. You can work your bones to death. You guys, we've had this experience. You think if I just put more time in, if I put more hours in, if I just push myself to the brink, somehow that's going to crack things open. Really, it's just putting more energy into something where you're experiencing resistance. So when I talk about flow, I'm looking at life like there is a flow of release and desire, and it's like the earth flying around the sun, right? The earth is never saying, oh God, this is so hard. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I better push a little harder and work a little stronger and really burn myself out. No. Now, if the earth turned around in its orbit and started pushing the other way, whoa, it wouldn't get very far. And it would burn itself out, and it would feel like I have to work harder and harder. Look at the cycle of the seasons. Right? Is it ever hard for it to turn into fall or turn into spring? Is it hard for us to be born and then age and grow older? So look at this like a flow of nature, of life, of the universe itself. And you're in this flow. And you're not just in this flow as a physical being. You're in this flow as a non-physical being. Meaning there is a path of total ease for you as well. A path where there is no resistance, no ceilings. You have the desire is born. I want to make or create something for myself, give myself to the world, unleash it and let it go. But if you find yourself going against that flow, heading the opposite direction, right? Here's a visual for you. Now I'm heading this way, and now it's a push. And now it's really hard. And now I'm not getting what I want. And now all of those things are falling down on my head saying why I can't. And in fact, I'm giving myself rationales for why I can't. I'm trying to explain to myself, this is why you can't. This is why you can't. Because you don't have enough time. Because you don't have enough energy. Because you're not skilled enough yet. Because other people already have that market. Because other blah, 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 on and on. Write it down right now. What are all the reasons you cannot have? Just what's happening is your mind is trying to do something generous for you. It's trying to give you an explanation. It's trying to give you a rational reason that you can settle behind so you can become content with not having. That's all it's doing. Your mind wants to help you just as much as your emotions and your heart and your flow. And your mind's job is to explain to you why you are where you are. And the better it can explain to you that, the more you're going to feel satisfied with the answer. And you're going to say, you're right, I can't because. And there you go. You stop creating. And now you're just showing up to work and you're just showing up and you're just doing your regular life because you have accepted the ceiling inside of you. Your mind is giving you all the reasons why. And believe me, the stronger those reasons, like the more you can get behind those reasons, the less likely you are to change them. So you have to turn this around inside of you, right here. This is flow direction, apparently. This is resistance direction. So look at resistance as something that isn't just there to torment you. It's there to say, ouch, that hurts, turn around. And I know you guys have heard this before, but maybe I'm saying it in a new and different way. The one tool, the one skill I want you to walk away with after this is when you hit the resistance, it's not enough just to know that there is resistance. There's an active technique. There is something you can do to move yourself out of that resistance. Get back into flow. Get back into freedom. Get back into trust and listen to that daily desire that you have, that mandate. And instead of saying you can't because, you say you can because. Because it's free here, it's easy here, it's the way we want to go. It's the way that you were made to open into. You know, so,
just to be clear here.
Yeah.
Resistance is not ouch, this hurts, turn around, like don't do it. It's like ouch, this hurts. There's a different way to do it, right?
Different way to do it. Exactly, precisely. So I teach a lot about resistance and all the different forms. So I'm giving you like the little nutshell version here. There is a kind of resistance that is like, imagine a storm and there's a bird and the bird is flying against the wind and they're very strong winds. And the winds are saying, little birdie, this is not the direction to go and you're going to flap your wings until you get exhausted. The bird turns around and the storm says, I can pick you up and sail you even quicker, right? You can use this. Now, what if the bird's desire is just to get home, right? I mean, you can stay with your desire, but you may not want to use the route that you're currently taking. Imagine, here's a better example, actually. Imagine that it's, remember Dorothy again, and she's looking at the scarecrow and there's, the two roads and which way should I go? Which way should I go? Well, imagine you're Dorothy and there's 15 roads in front of you. The hardest road is full of rubble and down trees and roadblocks. The easiest road is one of those things you ride in the airport to get from terminal to terminal, right? It's like just like kind of taking you along. At any given time in your life, you have the complete spectrum of ways to get someplace open to you. If you walk down the road full of rubble, if you're the bird in the storm going against the resistance, here's what you end up saying. If I just push harder, if I just try harder, it's going to work. I can't fail. I can't quit. Winners never quit. Hard work pays off. All of these things that we've been brought up. Okay, hard work does pay off, but not when you're working against something that is filled with resistance. Come back, pick a new road. You're still going to get where you're going to get. All roads are leading to Rome. I know this is like cliche hour, but yeah, pick a different road. Pick one that has least resistance. And this is where we become inflexible. No, my road is the only road. This is the road that someone taught me how to do. This is the road that everybody else is doing. This is the road where you have the certificate and the degree and where you have to get this thing first before you can. Like all the stuff that goes on in your head. Look at that list of things you just wrote. That's where you find yourself not getting anywhere. You have to purposely let go, release all of that thinking, be willing. I call it something I teach in me school, actually. It's one of our big juicy techniques, being wrong. Be totally wrong about that. Just be completely wrong Imagine all the ways you're trying to do something right now that aren't working. Now be completely wrong about them all. Say, oh my gosh, that was never going to work. Whoa, the way that person explained it to me was completely wrong. Completely wrong. And then you're left with this empty kind of weird feeling of, well, then what's right? I don't have a right. But you know what that space is? That's the creative space. I don't know what the right thing is yet. I better start looking around. I better start listening to the desire. I just pulled myself back out of resistance. And now I can flow down a road that's easier. And often that road that you're flowing down is easier is one that you would not have normally picked. It was too easy. You didn't trust it. You got to work for it. You can't take the thing that's so easy. I remember when I was a kid, I don't remember what it was. I was doing something in school and my mom said, why don't you just do the thing that comes naturally to you, Summer? Why don't you, do what you're already good at? And I remember saying, no, that doesn't count. That's too easy. I have to learn this other thing instead. That's what counts. And she was just like, if you just learn the thing, if you just went with what was already easy for you, imagine how big you could grow that. And I remember that to this day because sometimes I will find myself getting caught up in that. It's another form of resistance. I'm going to pick the hard thing that I'm not good at because I don't trust the thing that I'm easy with. Because the easy thing, I'm not proving it to anybody or anything. I don't trust that I'll get a big result from it. It was too easy. Being easy is a sign of flow, I've come to realize. So let's go back to that idea that you have something that you want to get out into the world, okay? You have a product you want to get out or a new business that you want to get out or simply you want to wake up and live completely differently, right? That's the thing you're going to get out into the world. And you've just learned, okay, I can actually pull out of resistance. I hear that there's a way to do it. Yes, you'll want to practice that a little more. Again, I'm doing a speed version of this. How do I actually let that thing out? Like, how do I let the world see this? And how do I do it in a path that feels flowing, where the wind is at my back instead of going against the current? First of all, if something is giving you resistance, switch tactics. Just switch. Don't be afraid to switch. Don't say to yourself, but everybody says you have to stick with it until, the very end, to break through and winners don't quit. You know what? You can work really, really hard and get nowhere, or you can work really, really hard and get somewhere. If you've been working really, really hard and getting nowhere, you're doing something wrong. And the wiser thing is to wake up and say, oh, that's not what I need to be doing. I bet it's something else. So when I talk to my flow, when I get into flow state, I'll show you guys this process in a few minutes. What I'm often saying is, show me the easiest path for this. Show me the one with the least resistance. Show me what I'm good at. Show me what's already going to work well for me. And notice if when I say that, you have a little resistance come up in you. Sometimes we go, oh, that's too easy and that's not going to work. And oh, that's what I always do. Or that's going to, notice that. Notice how much you trust it if it comes natural or easy or is in flow to you. A lot of us don't have a lot of trust there. That's the first thing you're going to want to work with. Building that up. Yeah, I can trust myself to have that or do that, or that people are going to love these skills. I've spoken with people and they say, I don't have any skills at all. And I said, you are the most amazing listener I've ever heard. I can talk to you for an hour. I have a friend like this. I don't have any skills. I can talk to you about anything. You never judge me. This is why you've been my best friend for 20 years. I don't care if you don't have all the things that you think you should have. It's not why I love you. But it comes so easy to her. She can't understand that it's valuable or worth anything. So think about those parts of you that are so easy inside of you. They don't seem like they're valuable or worth anything. Okay? Notice if those parts of you want to come out as part of your goal or that bigger thing that you're trying to create. I bet you they're wrapped up in there somehow. Right? So for me, I like to express. I like to create things, make things. I make audios and these flow dream, audios and meditations, and I write books. It's very easy for me to generate content. And I allow myself to easily generate it. And I understand that this is valuable. It's the most valuable thing I can do and give. It's coming from the very heart and essence of me. And all the stuff that gets in the way of, well, will people like it or want it? Right? That could be a ceiling. That could be a trap. Only a certain number of people will like it or want it. Imagine if I thought to myself, only a small number of people will ever understand or appreciate flow dreaming because it's so much me. Now my audience has gone down to this, and I'm keeping myself very safe in that thought and feeling. But if I say, no, I don't want to be safe anymore, I want to be free, right? I want to give everything to as many people that want to view it or see it or reach it. Can you feel how there's like an essence and an energy of exposure that starts to happen? Now you have a dream, you have something you want to make, but now you need other people to get on board with you. It's not just coming from you. Now you're needing something from them. You're needing them to love it, appreciate it, see it, value it, use it, choose you, whatever it may be. That's sort of like the next layer of creation. Look at all the ways we're co-creating, right? You co-create with spirit, God, source. You co-create with other people every time you put something out. Really, all of life is just relationships, isn't it? And that's just it. Just one kind of relationship after another. Getting out of your own way in these relationships and getting rid of your limitations and restrictions in these relationships. So I think what I'm going to do is take you into the flow now, because I could keep going. I don't want to just throw more stuff at you and see what sticks.
Don't leave us here in resistance, Summer.
Exactly. I want to take you away from it. Maybe it'll help to recap a little bit, right? 1, every single day is a gift. It's a mandate to make something. Your entire life is a creative piece of work. Every day, every second is a gift that you can make something in. Make a phone call, make dinner, make love, whatever it may be.
That's my favorite.
Exactly. There you go, right? So you have a choice in every day. How much am I going to let myself out into the making versus pull myself back and away from the making? And if I've let myself out into the making, here's the point number 2, and I've experienced resistance, am I going to choose to justify my resistance, stay in my resistance? Or am I going to look at it differently, perhaps be wrong? Remember I gave you that technique. And say, what if I'm totally wrong about that? Absolutely 100% wrong about that. Then what? Ooh, then you feel the wobble. Then you feel that, well, what do I replace that with? Now you've just freed yourself, right? You're moving back into a really creative, expressive state. And you can move yourself right into flow state at that point. And when you move into flow state, what you're saying is, I'm going into the path of least resistance. I'm going into the path of ease. I can work really hard here if I want to, or I can just coast, but it's going to be the easy, most resistance-free path. That's how I'm going to approach whatever my project is. I'm going to make it easy. Notice if this is in contrast to some of the other things that you hear out in the world, which is how to make things harder and more complicated. That's not yours. That belongs to other people. If they want to make harder and complicated, let them make harder and complicated. You don't need to take in that belief that that's how great things get built. It's not. I've built several companies, and harder and complicated is absolutely not the way I built them. I had a choice in it, and that's what I'm trying to communicate. So let's go ahead. When we move into flow, right, we have this understanding. I'm going to close my eyes, guys, because I can't do this with my eyes open. When we go into flow, there are 3 aspects to it. 1 is deep emotion. I want you to call up an emotion on demand. Feel it. I'm going to say, feel an emotion. You're going to say, Summer, I've got no rational reason to feel this. Say, I don't care. Feel it anyway. Don't wait for life to give you a reason to feel something. You choose to feel what you want to feel and let life show up with whatever it wants to match it with, okay? Number 2, daydream with me. If you can use your imagination, if you can visualize and see it, awesome. If you can't, if you're a person who doesn't see a lot of images, then just focus on the emotion. But if you can daydream, let your mind walk into the space with me. I'm not going to explain all about daydreaming, but I want you to just imagine for a second that daydreaming is a conduit that takes you into another place outside of time and space, quantum state. Right? It's like your computer checking its email. It's doing it in the background. When you are disconnecting and daydreaming, you're not even aware of who or what you are, how much time is passing. You're entering a kind of, back end state. But you're connecting with the universe. You're connecting with flow. You're connecting with higher guidance. So daydream until you reach the point where, after listening to me, you forget that you're sitting here. You forget that time is passing. And I'll say, and now we're wrapping up, and you'll come back and say, what? Where was I? That's the point where you shift from just being an emotion-filled daydream to being in what I call flow state. And flow state is a real thing. It's been documented in positive psychology. You can look up Csikszentmihalyi is the father of this state. We are simply taking flow state and moving it from, a creative state, which is how it's often used, creative works of art or scientific breakthroughs. And we're going to apply it to our spiritual emotional state. We're taking it up a notch into this other realm. So this flow state is everything is easy. My life is going exactly the way it needs to be going. I have no resistance. Okay, so we're going to feel this now. You don't have to, please, it's not meditation, so don't clear your mind. I'm going to give your mind things to do and think about. I like to relax our body because I'm often noticing that we're holding tension in certain places. Places that often correspond with the way we hold the world. We hold it on our shoulders. Some of us hold our breath, hold our expression. So you want to open up your throat, open up your chest, your solar plexus. Some of us are holding in and we're holding our gut, right? Trying to stay safe. So release your stomach. Nice and relaxed body. Breathing easy. Now we get to imagine together. I want you to pretend that you're walking along a shoreline. Maybe the shoreline is along an ocean of frothy and beautiful light. Sand is powdery, pure, crystalline. Maybe this is a lakefront, someplace special that you lived or grew up or vacationed, a place where the water is so blue and clear you can see straight to the bottom. But it's not light, or it's not water, it's light, it's energy. And you recognize as you look around and you look up the beautiful bright stars that decorate the sky, a canopy of twinkling colors. This is no place that you've ever seen on earth. It feels like a place behind earth, behind the material worlds. If the universe had a double, and that double was made of energy and light and movement and purity, it was the sound of angels singing and the chimes of the universe, that would be this place. The other side. The side of energy, of motion, of planning. And if you peer a little deeper, if you look a little further in, it feels like everything you see here is a kind of template or a design or sort of architectural blueprint for all the things that are material. And it clicks, of course, there's a corresponding non-physical to everything physical. And I am also in non-physical just as I'm in physical. I don't have to travel there, I'm already there, just as everything is. And now you're looking at you, non-physical, you're looking at the world, non-physical. And you're noticing there's a movement, a gentle breeze, an energy that just billows through, flows through in this place. It's an energy of time, an energy of movement, of you, of all things, collecting experiences, days ticking by, one after another. What's happening? As you make all of this, as everyone on earth and everywhere else and all of the universe are just making things every single day, well, this place is growing beautifully, exponentially. It's thickening. It's getting bigger and deeper and more aware of everything in of itself. And you recognize I'm contributing to this. And there's a path of ease. And there is a path of flow. And you look down at your feet. And here you are. You've been walking all this time along the shore. Not even noticing, not even thinking about it. It just felt right. And there is nothing blocking you. There is nothing getting in your way. It's you. It's your path into eternity. It's your path into the greatest you, path into your future, which is so far out, you can't even put a finger on it in time. It's a path of ease and flow. And you recognize as you're in this path and you're feeling the movement, maybe you're even swaying with it, feeling your body move to it. It's like the current that a little piece of seaweed feels under the ocean, just rocking with it, no effort. You're moving with this. And you're recognizing everything in my life is generated from this space. And all the resistance, all the doubts, all the fears and worries, those are like little blocks I put up around myself, forcing myself to crawl or climb over them or get around them. I put them there. I put them there with my thinking, with my limitation, with my restriction. I can clear them out as well. And so you do. You put your hands out and you begin to clear them all away. They don't belong in your flow. They're artifacts, they're constructs, they're things you brought in through your thinking and your fear and your resistance. Your resistance to who you really are and what you're actually capable of. Your resistance to your own success. And you let yourself clear it all away. Watch it fly away and just disappear, shattering into just light. And feel again this flow, this movement. It just pulls you forward into ease. Now take that thing in your life that you're trying to make right now, that you want to have, be, try. Bring it into flow with you. Let it be with you, envelop you. Like a friendly little dog, you're walking on the beach with you. This is that thing. There's no resistance for you. Why would there be resistance for you? Why would co-creation or source try to give you resistance to your desire? Why would it do that? It wouldn't do that. You can feel that. You know that. All the resistance is your own. And you just let it go. Now you're in flow. Now you're in freedom. Now you're in expression. Now you're in, I can try any and all things I want to try. If it works, I'll do more of it. If it doesn't, I'll move on. But I'm moving and I'm going. Creating. Building. Feel that power. Feel the strength of the universe clapping for me. Applause coming from the grandstands. You go. That's what I feel. Now let this scene dissolve. And you want to come back. Find yourself returning. Notice your body again. Notice what's around you. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So if you experience flow, probably the last few minutes of us doing that, you're gone. You probably didn't even feel your body if you really moved into that state. If it's your first time, it may not have been as profound. You practice this over and over and over. You will learn how to instantly transform your emotions, just completely feel how you want to feel when you want to feel it. And if it's about creating ease and limitlessness in your life, you can create that every day whenever you need it. Ta-da!
That is the power.
Woo!
I know.
Yeah.
I loved that flow dream. I had a moment when I was like, it was almost like I was on a roller coaster, like an easeful roller coaster.
Yeah.
And there was like the things in front of me. I was just like, and I was like just moving everything like off the track, and it was just like, I was like,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People ask sometimes, what if I didn't see what you said? What if I saw my own stuff? I'm like, great, it's your imagination. Let it run. It's your daydream. At a certain point, your daydream will take itself over from what you're creating, and it will just reveal, right? It's just revealing information. It's talking about the connection. It's just showing you what's out there, and so that's what you got, a little information. It's a little bit of a roller coaster, just clicking on and going.
Yeehaw.
Yeah. So I know we covered a ton of ground today, and I hope Hope it wasn't confusing for anyone.
No. It was very good. I love
Good.
we had our recap before we stepped into flow. I know you're going to share more about how people can continue with flow, but before that,
Yes.
ladies, I would love for you to share in the Facebook group. So
Mhm.
what was your experience with when you were in the flow and flow dreaming? Or I would also, if you feel inspired, for you to share your desire. Like, what is that want, that thing that you want to create right now? And just, whatever your experience is around either resistance you're feeling right now or the flow that you're feeling with it right now. So here in the group, and we can't wait to see what we're all creating every day together.
Yeah, and that's another, a final little idea for what you're journaling right now is spend the rest of the day writing down what you've created. Write down emotional states you created. Write down things that you created. And really kind of blow the top off that idea that creativity is only a certain thing that you do. No, every second you are co-creating. You need to sometimes see a list that goes on and on and on to where you're like 7 o'clock at night, you're like, I'm 4 pages deep already. Oh my God, she's right. It's all we're doing is creating.
Summer's right, she told me.
But once you get that, you start to really want to take power over what you're creating and create with that ease that I'm talking about, as opposed to this standoff that so many of us have with life and money and partnerships, and doesn't need to be there.
Yeah. So I know there's a way for people, the ladies who are here, they're just like, I'm in flow, I want more flow. You have an offer for them to like continue to be into that flow state, and for people jumping in, yeah?
Yes, I do. Oh, look, here comes Kitty again. Hello, my dear. Hold on. Yeah, so again, here we are. Hello. Yeah, so here we go. I have created a kit. It's a booklet that teaches you how to flow dream, an audio that talks you through the process, answers all your questions, really goes into much greater depth about it. And then I have a practice flow dream, which I've created. It's called Positive Flow. And the whole point of it is simply to get you into flow state, feeling it, like strongly feeling it, just like we practiced today. So that kit's free. I mean, I've always taught flow dreaming for free. It's such a, fundamental, basic thing. I couldn't charge for that. However, if people are interested and they want to experience more flow dreams around specific topics, then they can go to my store, which is at flowdreaming.com. I have a podcast. I have all kinds of stuff there. And I have flow dreams for things like building a business, emotional healing your body, even finding a new house. It's just creating around a specific desire. And just the last thing, remember, I hope you guys don't confuse this with meditation or hypnosis. It is none of those. It is a deeply emotion-based practice where you're connecting to non-physical. Ta-da, that's it. Yay. And Me School, I forgot Me School. Let me know if you're interested in that as well. We just finished enrolling right now, but give me a call if you're interested.
Yeah, for all those that want to like take their intuition and their flow to the supersonic level, Me School's for you. But right here, you can go ahead and get your kit. Right below, here's the link. So go ahead and grab that. And the bottom, you'll also notice Summer's bio and a link to her website, so you can check her out over there. Summer, I'm so glad we made this happen this year. Yay!
Thank you, Amber. Thank you so much for having me. It was beautiful. Love it.
All right, ladies, so sending you much love, and see you in the Facebook group. And until our next session, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.